Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another recording session of Talk Football Live with me, my same self again, Biodun and Ayo. And we have today a special guest who is making his very first appearance, and we hope to have him back. We have Donadoni The Great. Everybody that knows him by that name will probably be smiling where they are today. So, welcome, Donadoni, to your first Talk Football Live edition. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So this weekend we're going to be looking into the weekend fixtures with top games that are coming up. Obviously, we're going to be spending more time on the Arsenal Newcastle game. That's the second and third team on the league, and we're also going to be making spending some time on the Liverpool Brentford. Some people feel Liverpool might still, snatch the fourth position. I kind of disagree. I think it's tough, but we'll look into that and we'll talk about that. But we think it's going to be a big test for Liverpool this weekend when they play against Brentford. Then we'll spend the rest of our time taking predictions and just, quick analysis on the remaining fixtures. All right, if you don't mind, can we bring up the fixtures as
Of
well and start
course.
pulling the injury news for each of the team? But I'm going to start with Donadoni the Great, being your first time here. Let's talk about the Newcastle Arsenal game. To our viewers at home, Donadoni the Great is a City fan, so he's very very joyous at this point that they are back on the league table, topping the league ahead of Arsenal with a game in hand. Donadoni, Newcastle Arsenal. How do you see this game? Any chance
I
for
see. I
Arsenal?
see. I think this game is going to be a draw.
Why do you say that?
Hmm.
Newcastle is a very organized team, very organized, and I don't see the last time they played Arsenal. Arsenal found it very difficult to break them down. So I am guessing Newcastle is going to adopt the same approach, then
Hmm.
counter attack. So best case a 1-1 or a 2-2. I don't see Arsenal winning. I see it being a draw.
That's interesting, by the way. Wow. I'm going to take you, but Donadoni, real quick. You said them. You said you see them playing the same style again. Now,
Yeah.
when they came to Emirates, right, the first leg, it was a very defensive game. They refused to
Mhm.
come out. Lately, Newcastle has been playing fantastic football. We've been
Against
seeing them scoring 3, 4, 5 goals. Do you
against
see them
lower
aging
teams.
again this weekend?
Against lower teams. But against Arsenal,
Hmm.
the coach Eddie Howe is a very smart man. He doesn't play the same way against every team.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He comes blazing for teams he feels he can beat, and for teams he feels that he cannot match player for player. He's a little bit defensive.
Hmm.
He's going to be defensive tomorrow and hope for counter.
Wow. I like the analysis.
Okay.
Ayo, let me come to you. Do you agree with Donadoni or do you think it's going to be a different play?
It's interesting because he has a very good point. Newcastle, I think I'm leaning towards this game being a draw as well.
Hmm.
And I think he's right when he says that Newcastle goes gun blazing, guns blazing against teams that Eddie Howe probably considers inferior position to them at this point. If you look at all their past fixtures, with the exception of Aston Villa, right, they've beaten mostly lower teams. They lost against Newcastle. But there are actually some significant wins in that run. There was a 6-1 win against Tottenham, where they blew Tottenham apart in the first 30 minutes. I think we can say Tottenham is inferior position at this point. But then there was also the 2-0 win against Man U. So they've had some big wins in there against, what you would consider stronger opposition. But at the same time, I think what's going against Arsenal at this point is the problems that we have in defense, right? Saliba is likely out for most of the rest of the season. He might maybe play the last game or so from what we're hearing. Holden is likely to start, and Kivo, who came into the lineup last time against Chelsea, is likely to start as well because Gabriel is an injury doubt. And so when you're facing, you have a new centre back pairing against top level opposition like Newcastle, I see us conceding goals. And that's why I would lean towards the draw as well. We will score goals, but we will likely concede as well. Probably a 2-2 draw.
Wow, interesting. We'll score goals. I think the two of you kind of lifted my spirit. To be honest with you guys, I won't be shocked if Arsenal lost this game. I'm not sure we could snatch a draw. I think it's going to be a tough one. And that's because of what Donadoni said earlier. Newcastle is a very organized team, right? And I think they're going to come out all attacking. But let's say they cage and they try to be respectful. Maybe that can give us some chance to kind of press. But
I watched the Arsenal Newcastle game again. In the heat of the moment, sometimes you don't get to see or understand what's going on. So I actually went back and watched that game again. After we played at the Emirates, and I have to say, Newcastle were actually lucky to get away with the point in that game. Arsenal were literally all over them for 90 minutes, mostly the entire game. I still don't understand how we didn't manage to win that game. Which is why, I think we'll be strong in this game as well. And it's more or less the same attack that played against them that day, with the exception that we now have a new centre-back pairing.
Yeah, that's true. Donadoni, real quick, let me ask you about Alexander Isak. This is the guy that Eddie Howe brought into the team. And so far, I think the Newcastle fans have been delighted to see that guy. You saw the last game, you saw how he took defenders on that Everton game. So, what do you think? How do you think Eddie Howe is going to line up this time around? Is it going to be Isak and Wilson playing at the same time, or is it going to go with Isak and put some Wilson on the bench to come? How do you think he's going to line up the attack?
So the way I look at it, you might have to bench that guy. Because the way it's going to line up, it cannot be open. Against Arsenal, it can't be open, otherwise they will lose. They have to block up the midfield, lock up the defense. So with that kind of formation, they will probably use Wilson as their striker, somebody that you can lump the ball up front and he can hold it and bring others into the game. And unfortunately, they don't have Maxima. I think Maxima is injured for counter attack.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's a doubt.
Yeah. So this game, they need the transition. They have to be able to switch. If Arsenal loses the ball on the other side, they have to be able to switch the ball quickly and counter attack. So they can't afford to put two guys in front. I think Wilson might probably be their go-to guy because they need somebody that will hold the ball, because they are not going to have the ball a lot of times.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Well, great analysis and great insight into what we think Eddie Howe might do. Ayo, do you agree? You disagree? Are you a fan of Isak?
I'm a fan of Isak. I'll admit I wasn't a fan of him at first, especially when Arsenal was being linked to him. I didn't think he was the answer to our attack. But he's been impressive of late. I mean, that assist that he gave, where he jinxed past 3, 4, 5 players on the touchline. Eddie Howe said he was, it reminded him of Henry. And I have to admit that I do agree to an extent. It's been a while since we've seen a tall striker have that kind of close control in the Premiership. I think he might start Isak. Again, Isak wasn't available when they played us earlier. They started with Wilson in that game.
He was injured then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was injured, yeah.
I think he was injured. So they did start with Callum Wilson in that game. But Callum Wilson didn't get much joy against Arsenal either. He wasn't able to hold up the ball. He didn't really get any.
Because if you compare the two, who do you think can hold the ball better?
The thing is, Isak is not the kind of striker that stays in one place. I think it's easier to pick up a striker like Wilson, which makes it easier for Arsenal's defense. Isak is the kind of player that drifts into space. He will run into channels. He will drop deeper. He likes to get involved into the play. And I think that's what has made him dangerous of late. He's found a way to get involved more in the play, but also arrive in the box and be on the end of, finishes. And he has great technique, so you can see him taking long shots as well. I think that kind of striker is actually more difficult for Arsenal to play against than a Callum Wilson. Which is why, as a City fan, you might disagree, but I personally, as an Arsenal fan, I prefer us playing against Haaland than against Julian Alvarez. Alvarez causes us trouble all the time. He causes a lot of defensive trouble. Haaland is more easier to pick up. If you're Arsenal, I mean, almost every team struggles against him because he just keeps going and you will eventually lose track of him. But I would rather play against Haaland than play against Alvarez.
Okay.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, thank you for this analysis. I think this is very, very, very good. We'll find out soon. I hope one way or the other. So nobody's actually giving a win to us now. Wow, that's terrible.
Arsenal needs to win.
They do.
Exactly.
And that's why you're going to be playing into the counter-attacking.
Exactly. So they're going to have to overcome that pressure of we have to get these 3 points.
Yeah.
If they can find an early goal, then it's possible. Maybe a 3-2 win. Maybe a 4-2 win. It's possible.
We'll see. All right, gentlemen, I would like to switch and go to the Liverpool-Brentford game. So Liverpool had a long goal, win against Fulham, which helps their chances of definitely making Europe. But can they make top 4? We don't know. I don't know. Brentford, a very strong side, physical as well. Liverpool, Brentford, Howe. How do you see this game going?
So Brentford are facing, a little rough patch of form. They've been up and down. So 2 losses, a draw, 2 wins. I think they're coming up against a resurgent Liverpool side. We talked about them last week. They have the full complement of their attack available, and they are not showing the kind of patchy form that they had, earlier in the season. They also seem to be finding their form in terms of their defense. So Alexander-Arnold and Robertson are assisting again. They found a way. Klopp is now doing the same thing Pep and Arteta does, where Alexander-Arnold is now actually an extra midfielder, which we've also always said maybe he has the quality to play there. And so he's playing that role now for Liverpool, and they seem to have found a way to balance their attack. It's going to be a tough one for Brentford. Brentford almost have nothing left to play for. They're in 9th, 50 points, which is, 13 points off fourth spot. The other people they might be contending with for Europe, the likes of Brighton. Brighton are 5 points ahead with 2 games in hand. So at this point, it feels like there's not really much left for Brentford to play for other than maybe try and get Ivan Toney some more goals and maybe help him hit 20 goals for the season. So versus Liverpool, who are trying to get into 4th spot, I don't think they'll get it. I think the best they'll, do this season is 5th or maybe even 6th. But they're going to come up against a tough Liverpool team at Anfield. They've only lost one game all season at Anfield. It's a Herculean task for them.
Awesome. Donadoni, what do you think?
I think Liverpool will win this 2-0.
Wow. 2-0? Specific.
Wow. What makes you say that? It sounds like you think it's going to be an easy win for Liverpool.
Brentford is not fighting for anything. This is just they're going to come out. Liverpool in the last few games have gotten their groove back. The touches are good. I don't see them losing this game, especially to Brentford. I think they will win comfortably 2-0.
Wow, nice. That's good. They're still suffering with some injuries, but I think the squad that Liverpool has today, I think that squad looked good enough to get a win. I think so, right? Because Thiago is probably back on the treatment table, but I think they have enough midfielders to come in and make some difference.
Thiago hasn't.
He hasn't played much this season.
He came back. He came back the game against Arsenal. You remember? That was the game that he came back. He came in the second half, and I think he went back to injury now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. So 2-0 to Liverpool. Ayo, did you make a prediction? Liverpool, Brentford?
I didn't, but I'll go 3-1.
You go 3-1? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll take that. Well, thank you. Let's look at the other fixtures. Bournemouth,
All right.
Chelsea. So Lampard became the worst Premiership manager when they lost again to Arsenal. So far,
Wow.
he has not recorded a win. This is Bournemouth, Chelsea. One way or the other, Bournemouth has kind of found a way to escape relegation. Or maybe Chelsea will send them back to the relegation race. We don't know. Bournemouth, Chelsea, Donadoni, how do you see this game going?
This is difficult to call because you don't know the Chelsea that will turn up.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will win 1-0.
Hmm.
I just have a feeling Chelsea will win 1-0.
Based on the fact that they haven't won in 6 games now, right?
Yeah, but to me, I think the problem they have is a coaching and a mental problem.
Hmm.
The coach is not able to. There are too many players, and you're doing permutation and combination to know the right fit for the right position with about 30 or 35 man team or so. It's
Ridiculous.
difficult. So I think the owner made things more complex for the coaches by just buying players without determining where they need them. But I think they should be able to take care of Bournemouth. They don't score a lot of their chances anyway. So 1-0 for Chelsea.
Hmm. Wow, interesting. Ayo, what do you think?
Our guest is onto something. I have a feeling too that this might just be the game for Lampard to finally get a win. How are they going to do it? They have the talent, the quality is there. And it was shocking how they played against Arsenal. I expected a bit more fight from a team in the
Yeah,
London
they
Derby. I
played with
mean,
fear. They
sorry, you
played
were
with
saying?
fear. They played with fear.
Yeah. It was shocking. Like they'd lose the ball, and I saw no pressing. They just, it also seemed like the players didn't know what to do on the field, which that's maybe a critique of Lampard. I don't want to critique him necessarily because he's come into a really tough position, but they looked clueless out there too. Like they'd lose the ball, Arsenal would be in possession, and where you might normally see a team like counter press or getting back into shape. I just saw players standing there and then looking around like, okay, so what do we do next? And that tells of a team that is one low on confidence and maybe not also sure of their tactics. And like Donadoni said, it's probably difficult to get everybody aligned and on the same page when you have 30, 35, players to work with. Who are you giving instructions to? Who are you trusting in your starting 11? Have you had enough time to explain to them what they should do in every kind of scenario that they might be faced with? I guess
Yeah.
not. But I just have a feeling, yeah, maybe this might be the game where they find a way to snatch something. Bournemouth is a really good team, and I mean, if they play the way they played against Arsenal, they will be shocked.
Scoreline prediction, Ayo.
I'll go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Okay. Quick question to you, Donadoni, regarding Chelsea. What do you think is going on with the attackers at Chelsea? Chelsea has 3, 4 attackers, right? But when they line up, it happened with Potter. It happened with it's happening right now with
With
Lampard
Lampard.
not playing a striker. What do you think is going on? There was this guy that we saw a flash of him, and everybody thought this guy was good and ready, David
Yeah,
Fofana.
yeah, I feel
We
it.
don't see him anymore. What's going on?
That's the problem of having too many players. It's the problem of having too many players as a new coach. The first thing you do when you get into a position is you try to give everybody an equal opportunity to be able to get into the first team. And you can't be doing that at this stage. So this problem started when from the beginning of the season, when they got rid of Tuchel, got Potter, then bought so many players under for Potter, who I don't know whether Potter needed those players they were buying. So right now they don't know who is the right fit. Apart from their two center backs, nobody can predict who is going to play the game.
Hmm.
It could be Chilwell, it could be Cucurella, It could be Sterling. It could be Yao Felix. It could be Havertz. So I think the attack was still giving a bite when they were playing with Havertz. So he was missing chances, but they were still a little bit of click when they had Havertz in front as a nine. Right now, without Havertz, they've tried Sterling. A couple of people have always said it that Sterling numbers are padded because he played for Man City. He's not a great player, but I guess people are now seeing the truth. Um, they will get it right, but I think Lampard should not have taken that job. That it was a trap.
Wow. I wish we could have that conversation maybe on that next session, because I mean I think we talked about this, right, and I think people
They shouldn't have
came back
taken
and
that
said,
job.
yeah, I think I agree with you,
Because
Donadoni.
right now,
Yeah.
that job will finish his career. Nobody's going to hire him again. The blemish on his career, and
Wow.
you don't get second chances in these top flights.
Wow.
You don't.
Sure.
Wow.
You might have to go bring a team from Championship back to the Premiership for you to have a chance.
What's your take? Are you going to try to defend that? Because I think we had this conversation when you said that could actually make him.
Yeah, we talked about it, right? We said it was a win-win for Lampard. He comes into a difficult position, and if he has a terrible time, which he's doing right now, everybody can say, you can defend it and say, yeah, it was a bad, there's bad management, too large of a squad, things just weren't right there, and maybe he tried his best. And if he had worked out, if he had started to get some wins, then it's like, oh, okay, he came in and he fixed a bad situation. So I don't know if it will necessarily be bad for him, but he's not going to get a top 6 job anytime soon with this
Yeah,
kind of
because
performance.
if you follow the current coach of Fulham, if you follow, he used
Yeah,
to
Marco
coach a
Silva.
team before, or Silva,
Watford.
Watford. He was doing a good job. All of a sudden, everything came for him. He went to Everton. It didn't work out well. They blacklisted him. He had to go back to the Championship to bring Fulham back. I'm very sure he's not going to be in a hurry to leave Fulham if anybody comes to us right now. Because they brought him into a team, an Everton team that he did not buy those players. He didn't have a say in who was going to play. So he was now trying to do the same thing Lampard is trying to do. Fit people into systems that you don't even know whether they are capable of.
Yeah.
That's a very great insight. I actually forgot and I just remembered about that guy. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, great analysis, gentlemen. Let's move on to Man City Leeds. Donadoni, this is your team, right? And you're going to be facing Leeds. Leeds just had a new manager, and I'm sure everybody has heard that commentary coming from the main man, Sam Allardyce, right? Who says is there as well. He's better than Arteta, he's better than Pep, he's better than Klopp, he's good at what he does. Arteta is good at what he does, Pep is good at what he does. Donadoni, Man City Leeds.
Sam is a good coach, is a good defensive coach, but that Leeds does not have good defenders. That's the problem he's going to face. I think this is an easy win. It's going to be like 2-0. The reason because there's Champions League, so I expect the squad to be highly rotated.
Wow, 2-0.
I expect to see Alvarez starting, Kevin on the bench, Rodri might play, Mahrez on the right, then give a chance to Foden. So I see the squad highly rotated. So that is why I think this might end like 1-0 or 2-0.
Interesting. Ayo, your take.
Yeah, I'm still planning to go watch his first press conference.
Oh, wow.
But I know we saw the excerpt where he said he's not a big fan of all this, tippy-tappy football. And it's all, to quote him, BS. So I'm curious to see what he does because Donadoni is right. Leeds have a terrible defense. Leeds will score goals. They've scored goals all season, but they've also been conceding. In as much as I like Ilan Mele as a person, I think he's not a solid keeper. I have the same kind of reservation I have about Jordan Pickford at Everton in that he's too shaky. When you look at him, he's a great shot stopper, but he doesn't inspire the confidence that you might expect a keeper to give a team. A lot of times you'll see Pickford pick up the ball and then he tries to launch a quick long throw, and it's like, hold on, let your team get settled, give your team time to get in shape, and then you play the game. And you get that kind of shaky confidence from Milan Mele where he catches the ball and he's like shaky or he tries to claim. And I think that just makes the whole defense nervous where you're not sure what Mele is going to do. So everybody all seems unsure. And Allardyce might maybe help them settle that and help them start to figure things out. I think against Man City, this game comes too soon for Allardyce. So I agree with Donadoni that I don't expect to see anything other than a Man City winning this game.
Well, I would agree with you both, but maybe, miracle somewhere. Wow,
Go Big Sam.
I've looked at it. The Sam Allardyce most times want big, strong players and one very quick striker. Where in the past, he used to have Defoe that could do magic, just give the ball to Defoe. Right now, he has Bamford, who is totally not fit. Then the defenders are not tall enough, or they don't score goals from headers that much. They even concede. He will have to put more men into the defense. There's no chance of getting a draw.
Let's forget about this game, right? Question to both of you. Let's forget about this Man City Leeds game. Do we see Sam Allardyce saving Leeds, or do we think that Leeds might actually relegate? I don't think so. They are not the last three right now. If I check my table, do we actually see Sam Allardyce saving Leeds and next season actually, giving them a chance? What do you think?
It's tough. There are too many teams in that stuff. It doesn't depend on them only. It depends on what the other people are doing.
Yeah.
It's very tough. I see him getting a one win. But will that win be good enough to escape relegation? It now depends on what Everton is doing and what Nottingham Forest is doing.
That's true.
I see him getting one win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem for Sam Allardyce is with the 4 remaining games, he's facing, I would say, squads with quality. He's playing City, he's playing Newcastle. West Ham is where he might maybe be able to get something, and then he's facing Tottenham. Those are all, we know Tottenham is having a tough time, but they still have quality in that squad. So if they get it right, that's a tough game. You're coming up against Kane, who is always going to score against a shaky defense. So it's a really tough ask for Allardyce. As Donadoni said, it just depends on what the others around them do. If everybody else around them continues to drop points, then maybe they'll be safe. But if Forest and Everton start to pick up wins from somewhere, or pick up some draws, they might get sucked into that 17th, 18th
I think they hired him too late.
Yeah.
I would say so too. I mean, 4 games to go. That's kind of late, right? For anybody to.
But he's never failed. He's never failed. 5 attempts.
I don't remember his records, right? But the previous times, has he been hired this late?
And no, he has never been this late.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think, to Donadoni's point, this is the first time I'm going to be watching Allardyce managing a team that is not traditionally defensive. That's the truth. So this is a different test for him. But we'll see. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Tottenham Crystal Palace. Like we said, Tottenham has not been doing great, right? So they have the 3rd manager in the season, facing Crystal Palace that is resurrected from the dead. Uh, how would this one go? Higher. Tottenham Crystal Palace.
I think Tottenham under Ryan Mason, I think they're a bit more disciplined. This is a tough one to call because Crystal Palace are in great form. They're playing their hearts out for Roy Hodgson. He has them clicking. It might be a high-scoring draw. A loss for Tottenham at home, to be honest. I see maybe like a 3-2, 4-3 win for Palace.
Wow. Quick prediction from you, Donadoni. Tottenham, Crystal Palace.
2-2.
Wow, 2-2 draw. Okay. Let's go to Wolves, Aston Villa, and I'll start with you, Donadoni. Wolves, Aston Villa. Aston Villa in a great form until they met Manchester United that messed up their run. Do you see them bouncing back and snatching an away win against
I
Wolves?
think Aston Villa should win this game, like 1-0.
Okay. Ayo, your prediction?
I agree. I think it might even be worse than that.
Well, you see a win for Aston Villa.
A Villa win, yep. It'll be
Okay.
a Villa win.
All right, let's go to West Ham Man United. It was a shocker, right? It was a shocker that late win against Man United, even though everybody would agree that Brighton deserved the win. They played their hearts out. West Ham Man United, Man United trying to make top four. They could have just secured that if they had won against Brighton, but that didn't happen. West Ham is trying to survive relegation.
Oh, that would have secured it if they have won?
Yes, I think mathematically that would have secured if they are beating Brighton. Because that would have made it impossible for Liverpool to catch up. Yeah. West Ham Man United. Donadoni, how do you see this one?
This is going to be tough. It's difficult. Because West Ham's power is corner kick and so right now, if you look at the Man U's defense, they have all sorts of short folks there. Luke Shaw, I think, is the one playing center back, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no Maguire there. West Ham might just sneak in 1 or 2 goals because they score most of their goals from corner kick. They don't play. They don't have to play decent football. They are not known for playing decent football. They just want to get their corner kick and score. So it might be a 2-1. I think West Ham win.
Wow, they're gonna have to defend well against Man United, right? Rashford, all these strikers. I mean, they have all the attackers fixed for this game.
And the Man U also has to defend corner kicks and throw-ins.
Okay. Do you agree?
I think Man U will win this game.
Scoreline.
Yeah. I'd say maybe a 2-1 or 2-0 for Man U. Okay. I watched West Ham against City. I think what a lot of this is more to City's credits, right? West Ham kept City out in that first half. But what a lot of people might not realize is, we talk a lot about possession football, but one area that I've seen City also excel at this season in particular is counter-attacking football. They did that to devastating effect against Arsenal, and they did that against West Ham as well. They eventually ran out clear winners against West Ham, and I think that's if they try that Man U excels at counter-attacking football as well.
Yeah,
Man U knows how to absorb pressure, and they will hit you fast.
That's true.
That was one mainstay of Eric Ten Hag's ball.
If you look at the City team, people fail to realize it. They have a lot of tall players.
Yeah.
City can match you strength for strength, power for power. They can play finesse kind of football, and they can also play dirty football if it comes to defending.
Yep.
That's interesting. I think we've talked about this. And this is what I don't like. Why is it that City gets away with those bad tackles? Donadoni, defend City.
So what
a lot of bad tackles from City that they don't
get. What they do, immediately they lose the ball in the opponent's half. They just quickly foul you. It's a trick. Now, it's always when you foul the opponent in the other half, the referee does not think of bringing out a yellow card. So Silva is known for doing that. Grealish can do it. Rodri does it. It's a very small kind of tug or a simple tap on the leg to stop the play. So the first thing they try to do is stop the play by stopping the counter attack with the first person that gets the ball in the opponent's half. They do it a lot. The referees are not smart enough to realize that it's a way of stopping momentum, but they do it a lot.
Wow.
So I don't see it as bad. I don't see it as serious tackles. I see they foul you at the opponent's side of the game.
Wow. Ayo, I think you have your answer.
Yeah.
All right. So West Ham, I believe Man United will win. Donadoni believe West Ham might just snatch a win through their corner kicks. Fulham, Leicester. Leicester had a draw. They are trying to get out of relegation. It's still a big test for Dean Smith and his team. Ayo, Fulham, Leicester.
Yeah, I think Leicester struggles will continue. Fulham is solid under Marco Silva. They will continue that struggling, Leicester. I tip them for relegation, possibly. And if they are not able to get a point, they will just continue that slide towards relegation.
So a win for Fulham.
A win for Fulham, yeah.
Donadoni.
I do. I don't. Fulham should win.
Okay. Scoreline.
It's difficult to call, but I think Fulham should win like 2-1.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Brighton Everton. Brighton is playing fantastic football right now. I think everyone should be afraid to play Brighton this point. And I don't know
Nobody wants to play Brighton right now.
and I don't know what's going on under the management of Dizabi. I don't know where this football is coming from, but it's been exciting, it's been interesting. Do we see an upset here, or we think it's going to be an easy win for Brighton? Donado.
It's tough because Everton right now is playing with a lot of energy, right? They are, of course, they are not putting in the right passes, but there's energy there. But Brighton is better. It's better organized, better as a team. I don't know. It's difficult to call because everything is fighting. Everybody in that team has realized that their salaries will be slashed. So, so the way if you watch the last game, they ran themselves out of gas. So it's difficult to call. If Brighton should win normally, but Everton might sneak in a draw.
Ayo, what do you think?
No chance for Everton in this game. Remember who's in defense. Remember who is in goal. Brighton is going to shred that defense apart.
This is your dislike for Pickford. I'm just
We'll see. It's coming soon on Monday. 4-1.
4-1. Wow, nice one.
4-1.
Well, as we wrap up, let's look into the last game for this weekend. Nottingham Forest, Southampton. Nottingham Forest is trying to escape this relegation battle. Most people feel like Southampton is already condemned to relegation, but who knows? Nottingham, Southampton. Ayo, I'll start with you.
Southampton is already condemned to relegation. Yes, we can confirm that. This might even let's see what the table looks like. Maybe this is the game that actually
At the bottom
confirms it.
and 29 points, I believe. 24.
So 24. So they still have mathematically there's still a chance, but I think it's unlikely. I think Forest might use this to leapfrog the likes of Leeds and Leicester and actually get a win. Forest have the quality to win a game. Southampton have been playing well. They seem to have found a good combination up front with Alcaraz and Walcott. Those two seem to be combining. Alcaraz is a solid player, and if Southampton get relegated, I have no doubt that he will get picked up by a Premiership team. But I don't see them getting a win. Best case may be a draw in this game.
Okay. Donadoni?
Nottingham Forest will win.
Wow. Well, Thank you, gentlemen. It's great having you, Donadoni. We hope that you can come back. We will actually have to have you back as the season gets to a wrap. Most likely 1 or 2 games to go, so that we can have a very nice conversation around the top four, and see maybe one miracle somewhere would happen, and we'll see Donadoni. Not in a good mood. But for now, congratulations to you being top of the league. It's been a good run. We hope you can make your treble. I know that's your wish. But one way or the other, if you can drop one and just take two, I think that would be fine as well. So thank you, our viewers. Continue to watch, continue to like, continue to subscribe, and leave us comments. Thank you once again. We'll be back next week with another edition. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.